Hi guys, welcome. My name is May. If you're new here, I create fashion and beauty content, and one of the series that I do on my channel, which tends to be quite popular and you guys love to watch it, is I do a best drugstore, best high-end, and whatever that category is. I've done brow pencils, I've done clear brow gel, I've done eyeliners, I've done quite a few. I've done mascaras, and you can probably tell I didn't set my makeup yet, and I'm someone who has oily skin. I have to wear some sort of powder, and I prefer something translucent that doesn't add any color to my face, and also I find this to look less cakey throughout the day. So today I'll be testing out the best drugstore loose setting powders in translucent. What I like to do in this series is I battle them out. So today I'll be testing out two, and then the next day I'll be testing out the other two, and then I come to the conclusion which is the best for each day, and then final thoughts at the very end. And of course, wear tests each day. If you want to know my thoughts and which ones are the best from the drugstore, keep watching. Can I just say there aren't that many translucent loose setting powders that are a drugstore price. It was really hard for me to find, and to even find four was really difficult. From least expensive to most expensive, we have the e.l.f. Cosmetics High Definition Powder for $6. This one is a personal favorite. This one is always in my arsenal. I buy probably maybe 4 of them every single year because I love this powder so much, and we'll try not to be biased, and I really want to see if the other ones can compete with it or maybe even be better. And the next one we have is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Loose Setting Powder for $7.99. This one is a very popular one. Anytime someone talks about like a drugstore loose setting powder, they tend to talk about this one. And then we have the Makeup Revolution IRL Soft Focus 2-in-1 Powder Translucent, and this costs $10. And lastly is the Colourpop No Filter Loose Setting Powder for $12. For today's wear test, we'll be battling out the e.l.f. one on the right side and Wet n Wild on the left side. So I'm very familiar with both of these. Like I said, the e.l.f. one I've been buying for many years, and the Wet n Wild one I actually got last year around the fall time. The e.l.f. one has 4 stars, over 1,200 reviews. I like that it's a smaller size, just more travel friendly, and this contains 0.28 ounces. I like using a powder puff. I get mine on Amazon. I'll have my Amazon storefront link down below. I just put on the powder and I really press it into the powder. So like this, and I'm just gonna go right in. I really like to get under the under eyes, and I also like to use it to kind of sharpen the eyeshadow. And what I love about this powder is it's finely milled and it really doesn't feel like powder. It feels very lightweight. And if I contour my nose like I did today, I also like to put a little of extra powder right here, and then I just let it set. And then the usual going around the mouth, going around the nose. And then I also like to go right here, chisel it out even more. And then of course right up here. I don't bake it for that long. And a big thing for me with packaging is that I could close the holes so you don't have the powder going in here. And it's just less messy overall. Really see that difference from no powder to with powder. It makes my under eyes look very smooth. It minimizes the appearance of my pores. Doesn't get rid of them because you can't do that. But this is such a good powder. So moving on to my left side, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus. This has 4.5 stars and over 1,000 reviews. And this contains 0.7 ounces, which makes sense. It's bigger than all the other ones. So this one gets messy, which is why I don't like traveling with it. 1, because it's bigger, and 2, you can't close it up, as you can see, so it's always a mess. Using a clean puff, so not the same one as the one before. Just gonna do the exact same thing. So for this one, I find it to be heavier and it looks really good. Then again, just going right under my cheekbone, carving that out. And just add a little bit to the forehead. Now I'm just gonna wipe it off and blend it out. You may not be able to tell on camera, but it does look a little bit heavier than the e.l.f. one. It's just not as finely milled, but it does make my under eyes and just overall my skin look really good. And this is the Wet n Wild side. My under eye with the Wet n Wild side looks just a tiny bit better, but you guys tell me. Just got a little more blush since I lost some of it from the powders. A little on the nose. This one is the Pure Nude Essence Baked Blush that I didn't get to try out in my last video. But ever since that video, I've been just wearing it off camera a lot. It looks so good. No highlighter for today, just this blush. So I will see you guys later. I'm probably going to film this, I guess, after dinner. So it's probably gonna be around 8 o'clock. I'll see you guys later today. For not setting my face with setting spray, my skin looks really good. Like both sides look really good. Even though I'm a little bit oily like right here in the T-zone area, the forehead, usually throughout the day I would like touch up a little bit. But overall, I'm really impressed. So let's start with the e.l.f. side, coming in a little bit closer. Just keep in mind, I was wearing a mask earlier today, so you might see some lines, but they're pretty faint. And the e.l.f. side overall just looks really good. You see some wear going on under the eyes, which is pretty typical for me, but not too bad. Now, as far as the Wet n Wild side, I think it looks pretty much the same as the e.l.f. side. Again, a little bit of wear under the eyes, but overall it looks really good. Even around the nose, it looks really good on both sides. I'm just overall very impressed. I don't think one wore better than the other or one controlled my oil better than the other because the outcome is so similar, and after 8 hours both sides really do look the same. So for me, if I had to choose, it's really because of the packaging. I would go for the e.l.f. because it's just less messy, more compact, but you get more product with the Wet n Wild, even though you're paying what, maybe $1 or $2 more, but you're getting more ounces. No wonder why so many people love both of these. So I will see you tomorrow and we'll battle the last two. Today is going to be an editing type of day, so I'm keeping my makeup super simple. For the last two, we have Makeup Revolution on the right eye and Colourpop on the left eye. So both of these are new to me. I haven't tried either of these. I haven't really explored either of these brands either. Like, I've tried a couple products from Colourpop for Makeup Revolution, but I've never really dove into it to really see what they have in their lines. What's interesting about the Makeup Revolution one is it's a 2-in-1. So you just open it and it has the pressed powder and it comes with a mirror. It's the only loose setting powder that has a mirror, but it is, as you can see, taller. And then you twist for the loose setting powder. And it looks like there isn't a little cover to cover the holes, so just kind of keep that in mind. I'm now realizing the dilemma with this design. Since there's no cap, well, I guess this is the cap, but I'd be a little concerned where the product would be getting stuck in all these nooks and crannies. But where am I gonna dump the powder? That's kind of what I'm wondering. I guess you would just put it in here. It just seems a little weird. I'm pretty sure this is fragrance free. I don't smell anything. Today my skin's acting up, so I have like a few breakouts on the face. So I think what I'm actually gonna do is go in with the pressed powder and like dab it on the breakouts. So far, not bad so far. It feels very similar to the e.l.f. one. I'm gonna add a little bit of the pressed powder. You can see there's an embossment. Sit right on the breakout. This powder definitely emphasizes my dry skin. So right here, a little over here, it just doesn't look as smooth. Let's move on to Colourpop. The packaging is pretty much the exact same as the e.l.f. one in the sense that it has a cover for the little holes. So much easier. I think all loose setting powders should do that. And then another thing that I didn't point out yesterday is that Colourpop and Wet n Wild, it's not white. I don't know if you can tell. Let me put it on the cap. You can see that the Colourpop cap is white and then the powder has just a little bit of tint to it, but it does says that it is translucent. As far as color, it looks just like the Wet n Wild one. I'm really enjoying how the Colourpop side feels. It feels, again, just very light. It doesn't feel heavy at all. It doesn't look heavy. What do you guys think? I'm not sure if I like one more than the other, but we'll see after today's wear test, so I will catch you guys later today. I can't tell if my skin looks better yesterday or today. For some reason, I look a little less oily, specifically in the forehead area. Like, I don't know. Yesterday, I was wearing a little more makeup. Today, it's a bit lighter. But I was using the same primer for both days because I didn't want that to change the effect. But you guys let me know in the comments below. Going back to the setting powders that I used today, starting with the Makeup Revolution on the right side, I say it looks the exact same. I really don't see much of a difference. A little bit of wear under the eyes, which is to be expected. Everything else looks really good. Around the nose, it's a bit dry and flaky. Keep in mind it is winter time and it's on both sides for Colourpop and Makeup Revolution. I'm pretty impressed. Even the breakout areas have stayed pretty covered. You could see them just ever so slightly, but not too bad. Colourpop side, I would say pretty much the same thing too. A little bit of wear under the eyes, a little bit of dryness around the nose, but honestly, overall, not bad. Usually where I get really oily is around the nostrils, and both sides look really, really good. Again, with packaging, I gotta go for the Colourpop one. Out of all the setting powders that I tried out yesterday and today, I'm kind of torn between the e.l.f. and the Colourpop one. Packaging is the exact same. I'm pretty positive they have the same amount of ounces. So Colourpop has 0.30, and I can't remember what the e.l.f. one has, but I'll have it up here. But I think they're pretty much the same. The e.l.f. one is slightly shorter in packaging, but they both have the stopper. e.l.f. is completely white. Colourpop has like the tiny little tint to it. I don't know. It's hard for me to choose right now. I'm going to continue using Colourpop and see if I enjoy it more with the next coming weeks. e.l.f. is such a ride or die with me, and I noticed when I bought this that they have a luminous one, which is very interesting. And I think it's translucent from what I can see online. So I want to get that one too, even though now I have so many loose setting powders. I just want to see how luminous it is, because I mentioned in my e.l.f. video, the testing out the best sellers, that I was like, I want to find a translucent luminous setting powder, and I just said that out loud. And then I discovered that my favorite drugstore one has that option. Isn't that how funny how life works? So I'm gonna try that one and see how that goes. But I really can't choose as of right now. We'll see what ends up in my spring favorites. That's really the ultimate decision when I decide, out of all the things I review in that season, what are the things that I was wearing the most. So we'll see. I'm sorry I can't give you guys a definite answer of which one is the best, but if you're getting either of these two, I think you're going to like them. Let me know in the comments below what category I should do next. I haven't done a high-end version of this, so I could do that. I definitely want to do a part 2 of brown mascaras, because that video did very well. I think I filmed that last year. So I don't know. I could do a part 2, a new category, or a high-end version. You guys let me know. If you guys enjoy these types of videos, please, please, please like it. Subscribe to this channel for more fashion and beauty content. I'll see you in another video. Bye!